Good morning, folks. It's 10:23 a.m. on the 16th day, 5th month, 2023. What I'm looking here is at Space Weather Dashboard. Anytime I see beaming events, I do dive on here to take a look at what space weather conditions are like, because the conditions in space always affect the weather. Will affect the Earth. And a pretty image of the sun here from today. Slight kickoff of a few tendrils here at a forward-facing area here of excitations. Isn't that beautiful little butterfly pattern today? Examples of a toroid field as this loops into that one, loops into that one, is looped into that one. It's kind of what these things on the side are showing you side on, is what we're seeing head on here. A fire tornadoes on the edges here kicking out. It would be happening here facing us, but you won't see it the same from the same perspective. And these are magnetic flux lines like this. So when you're making your vortex or it's spinning around, it's interacting with the magnetic lines on the magnets on the outside to energize your water. And well, these flux lines here out here are very, very hot, hotter than the surface of the sun itself. It's quite some tendriling going on too out here. So I'm going to be watching this area here as it comes around the limb and faces this. This coronal hole is a bit of a concern. It causes more of a solar wind toward us. We could see a little bit of an uptake or uptick in the roaringness of it all. Yeah, it's a very exciting tendril there. But we didn't have any big blasts, so I will confirm that space weather is not going to be a factor and in these beams here that I've been loading up over here. Because I just seen it tickles of something new starting. A great big beam, but I didn't see a kickoff. You see these little tickles here and here? It tipped me off that something was going on. So I was over looking at Australia and trying to do my determines when this next batch is going to be allowed to proceed toward the east and actually impact the island of New Zealand and get out of there. But this beam here is going to be manipulating this moisture here, so as the day goes on, more of this image will get available. I'll see what's going on. But based on the triangular shape of this here, the emanation point is going to be down here somewhere in the ship, let's say. I've seen these before. Going across Australia, quite a blast has been influencing you guys. I have to take you back about to 48 hours. You'll see the straight line appear right across the top of your country that pinned all the flow in the tropics from up there from coming inland and creating quite the dynamics of almost a Lando Kane looking high pressure system storm over in the inside here. You'll see low pressure in this hemisphere, remember, towards this direction. This direction is the high, or when you see the microwave heat something in the southern hemisphere, it should go counterclockwise. And so I look for that a lot when I'm looking at things like if I was to come over here to my sat view and I look at the high deck, low deck maneuver in here, that light haze versus the dark haze, I can very often see differences in the motion from a heated deployment versus the cold upper deck here of the big clouds. And when you zoom back, you see the straight lines north of Canberra here. These are microwave-induced huge pulse lines. And I could see evidence of a pulse line coming through here because there was a lack of clouds, lack of anything moving beyond it. Flow goes toward it, it stops. Flow goes toward it, it stops. There's a directional change. When this mass meets this mass, it'll have to turn. Won't be very fast, but it will become cyclonic. It'll have to. And all the forcing of the bombs over here in towards what's this, one of the islands out here, that might be Willis. No, that Lord Howe. Willis will be north. Hello, Cliff Herbert. So let's just turn on some of the name game over here so we can see a bit better some of the flows that are coming up coast and how they're pinned by microwave energy from going inland any further. The clouds right here are not just microwaves. They'll have chemical catalysts actually nucleating. So I'll let that clear up, and I'll go through some of the boomins and the plumins. And if I have to jump up, it's because my groceries are getting delivered, and I'll just run down and get them and load some kind of radar like I normally do. Because this is real life, and real life just happens. Happens. And happenings you can see with your eyes. Happenings are visible, man. It's like going to a cool party. It's happening. Or a concert, or a visible thing. And Geo Engineering is happening, and whether you believe it or not, irregardless, it can kill you anyhow. You won't be breathing these toxins. And not everything's done with jet planes anymore, and I've done plenty of shows showing that other methods of deployments, included fireworks and stuff on the ground and stuff that's way too high for your commercial aircraft to be flying. That'll clear up as I move along here. It's just a line of chemtrail, and it hits the microwaves here, and it reacts. If it stays around a long time, it doesn't just dissipate like a condensation trail. A condensation dissipate when it gets to the ambient air temperature, or the temperature of what's around it. Yeah, it's temperature differences and pressure differences create clouds. If you have something for it to condensate on or condense, like the moisture that drips out the outside of your glass. The glass is the condensate. But if it was perfectly clean glass with no dust, you'll notice something different. That's all I'm going to say about that. Science. These streamers strew over here to Java lands. A lot of coffee growing out here. Cat shits them out, and people pay extra money to drink pooped out beans. Isn't that amazing? Cappuccino. I've tried it. I'm guilty. It was fine, actually. Yeah, I've drank. If I drink a Coca-Cola, I might as well drink a cappuccino. At least I'll know I'm drinking shit. If you could wash the bean. Look at how this just keeps going in the other direction. This is just a hair. Magnification down. Get a little bit clearer. Yeah, it's important to see clearly, I think. Now let's see if the stream is actually working. I'm alive in the stream, booming plumes they are, and I'm showing thee. It breaks my heart. Hey, Vanuatu, how you doing? It's like it's sticking its middle finger up at the rest of the world, holding its hand sideways. Chemtrails just blasting over the Fiji. Hey, you guys, turn me a camera south and get me some shots of your sky. Yeah, well, it might be dark, though, now. So they're managing the moonlight, too, right? You don't want the moonlight to get too hot. You got to block that, too, at the time of day when heat's supposed to radiate into space. Where that facing the sun, that's being taken away by a big old blanket of filthy-ass crap coming over the top of you. And it is. You want to be breathing, eh? Well, we are. We don't want to. Sneeze much? Bird in eyes, bird in nose. Extra floaties on your eyes that you never normally had from nanoparticles sink their way through the porous materials of our body that are supposed to oscillate and breathe at a beautiful 7.83 hertz frequency that our mother wants us to have. Would you look at the guilt here, streaming across the nation, interacting with these microwaves, says you ain't coming south. They was leaning to come on in, but they said, no, Geo Engineering got a plan for this. Who knows what it is? Is it desiccants? Is it going to rain? Are we all going to finally complain? Because the rains of which we complain ain't always caused by jet planes. Now, the Boom Boom Plumes is a ScopeX type program, Project Loon, done with high altitude balloons, and when you inflate one of them suckers, it's over just bigger than a football field. Yeah, bigger than a football field. Takes a crane to set them up. It does. I've shown pictures of them plenty. Don't expect me to do your homework for you. You're going to dive through my thousands of hours of videos and do your determinants. Well, how many directions of the wind you got going over here at New Zealand? Well, let's see if we could bring you into the center here of my attentions and yours, and watch these Boom Boom Plumes go by. Well, they don't go by quick enough. They need to be by so I never see the streamer in after. What's that? A death note there? All right, let's get to the beginning here. Whammo! All right, what happened here? We get a big old bunch of crap. We're over the volcano field. Looks like microwave induced straight line going straight out to sea here. It blowed out all the clouds. When we get another beam shooting out here, yeah, I can go on your site and find it. I'm going to go on your site and find it. Where's the Met Service? Yeah, the hell with that. If I see something, I say something. And I'm seeing it in the clouds. Well, that's not cool. All right, we'll just type it in manually. Met Service New Zealand radar. Lioness Bastard Service. Weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's put the word pastor up there. Are they known to be lioness? Yeah, it should have been wrong. Okay, let's see what we got down here.
Metservice.com, New Zealand rain radar and rainfall forecast maps.
Thank you very much.
Is New Zealand's national weather.
Oh yeah, she's fanned out over here. Look, you see. I can get individual images here quicker. Right, beam shooting at your Christchurch in that image. Go look. You see it straight off. And it's not on all the time, so it's not a glitch. 1, 2, 3. And it's a particular amount of times they're not even showing. Beams shooting down here, straight down that area. See a straight line? It's not as definitive as I would like of an image. Let's see if we can pick up any other pulsations here in New Zealand. Pulsations leading to moisture. There's one. You point straight out. Bzzz. Influencing the flows. Just peeking at Christchurch there. Getting fried, getting fried. Fried fish sticks. Do you eat fish sticks or fish sticks? They're all spelled the same, but they just sound different. In America, we have fish sticks. The molliest. Yeah, this is boring me. I ain't seeing nothing like huge. They're not showing any big blasts, but I do see an influence in the moisture itself. Okay, so I'll keep that in my mind when I predict the flows that it comes up and around. When a flow like that happens, it usually blocks up Cook Strait itself, so the air has to come over the island and back around. It doesn't come through the natural channel created by our mother. What a fucking shame. When people think they could do a better job at being God than God, we don't even think of our neighbor, let alone all the creatures out here in the forests and that live in those. And we don't even shake the tree anymore before we cut it down. Well, what a fucking shame. What a callous attitude. Ooh, that's a big EMF shove out into this bank of stuff out there. Did you see the push? Right here. Boom, wiper blade move, shoving the moisture out, hits that chem line right there, forces it up and around. That's going to come and feed in here, down here. So let's have a quick look here, or the look itself, of the Waterflak of it all, or however the fuck that was said. Bleh. The grain accumulations for the next 24 hours. It's nice to see that it's raining out at sea, more than over your house. It's very volatile. Yeah, that makes more sense. As this bubble up comes up and down, it's going to spit. But it's a mighty straight line. It's a mighty, mighty straight line. The only thing that's supposed to be mighty is our Earth. Could it possibly be this straight line right here in the haze of the microwaves have decided the line of rain so we could decide which forecast is going to be fairly accurate? I say this one. I say the Fubario will continue for this area here. You get another 10 centimeters coming. Every bit of it. Every fucking bit of it. Have it, have it, have it. And it looks like, well, you're getting under tens and you should have a freaking relax after that. Get your yards ready for the fire seasons. I ain't joking. You're just keeping my folks prepared. If I don't keep you prepared, you're going to just run around scared. Well, I don't do fear porn. I do prepare porn. I don't do porn at all. This is nothing you have a wank to, and if you are, you're a sick bastard. If you can look at the nearly a half a meter of snows and such coming over here to New Zealand, yeah, I know. Well, that's on the rain line, so be careful with the runoff from that. But there's some heavy snow totals coming on the 10s. Christ, it should be sooner than that. I ain't totally in agreement with the arrival times here. Yeah, that's where if you don't pay attention to my forecast, you'll never get it. So let's have a look at the rain, the thunder, and the things that make you rumble. And the big action here is actually going to be in the Tasman Sea for about 3 days. And we just yawn. Game be bomb, boom, boom, plume, boom, fuck. Here comes the thunder, boom, boom, plume, plume. Is that a tornado? Boom, 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 bit plume, plume. Fuck this. And we're moving along, moving along, moving along. Come on, get me over here about Thursday. For anything really happens. And all the dramaticness of the isobars of the 978 should give you a kicking wind, man. That's going to be a bit of surfing. It's not going to be good. It's going to be dangerous when this thing goes whammo. It gives you all clobbers you like a big old hammer, the old Nautilus kind of a gear effect of leverage that you see on your exercise machine. Imagine that. Whomp the Nautilus. Think about it. Think about dynamics. Think about force. How's it going to dissipate the energy of the rotation of this storm? They're going to dissipate it against your shorelines and the actual motion of your island itself against its fault lines. That might be my food. Hang on. Hello, are my groceries out front? Okay, I'll be right down. Thank you very much. Okay, I'm gonna roll the tape here for you guys and let you see the forecast stations a little bit more while I go down and get my food. Right, here you go. Let that run for a minute. I'm sorry, he's busting my balls about this. You guys just hang in there on my live video. He is back. It has rolled, and I can now continue. So where was I? My apologies for that. I changed procedures. All right. Well, that's that screen. Now let's have a look at your. Where was I? All right. We should be. This is when your action starts again. Hey. So welcome back to my little break here. I should have paused it. Action needed, low frame rate. What is happening is my groceries arrived 50 minutes too early and he wanted a weird code. And I nearly told him, just take the food back. I'm busy. You're early. Get out of breath. Right. Where was I? So as we going in through what's looking like to be about a properly well through your Saturday afternoon, it's really been a rainy day for you guys coming this week. And yes, right behind it is that whole tendril is coming. If it hits a line of EMF, it's going to spin. I don't see how. It's straight into you through Sunday. You have a very, very wet weekend coming. Very, very wet. Now we're hitting about midnight on Monday. You're still wet. Snow's in the Southlands. Wet in the Toplands. Gosh, you New Zealanders. You're wet in the head! Whole bunch of soaking wet ratbags in the government houses of the world. I need have some answering to do for this. All this has been manipulated. All that was driven with that great big ass beam I showed you the other day. All the way from over here. Look what's coming. It's there. Here's another one. That's the soggy season setup. That one should actually influence here and come through to allow that to come under. This is an interesting setup. I've seen it before. That's just a gear. She's just going to spin. Direct some stuff up, some stuff down. Very predictable flow maker. You got another one parked out here in the Atlantic. It's doing the same thing, but it's the opposite direction of wind flow. So it's actually kicking up, and it's a really big height. Really, really big. And it's doing the same thing. Doing the gear. And the pressure point right here between the two of these pinches here is what keeps fueling these storms in Canada. Right up through this corridor here. There's nowhere else for the moisture to go. And when it comes up there, USA, you're headed for a soggy time too. And that's so good for you guys. That's so good. So let me see if I can find the accumulations here. Doink. Might make me refresh. Here we go. Turn some of the numbers off here. Yeah, USA on the 10s is not looking good. I don't believe all this is going to perk off the coast, and they definitely look like they're pinpointing around between Charleston and Myrtle Beach. Up through here. And it's Santee Coopers and these rivers up here. Hey, so watch yourself down in the lowlands down here this coming week. You got something coming. 3, 5. It's there, man. You're already being impacted. So let's take a quick look at. You go closer to my mic, Gary. There, we'll move something along for the East Coast. What's happening? Coming from out west. Oh, and it's going to hit a pocket of tropical stuff. So the cold air from out of the Rockies is going to come on down. That shift coming from out of Texas is going to sling it in toward the Kentucky, the bluegrass state. My God, you guys going to be watching out. Watch out over the next 24 hours through Kentucky and near just before west of the North Carolina mountains, where that conditions are perfect for tornadic activity before it pinches. And boy, when she leaves the coast, she's going to rumble. That's a dangerous storm line. Maybe we could wash that freaking stinking, nasty smelling sniffer over there out of the DC barracks. Dumb holio, you know. In the deep underground bases of the world. They are dumb holios, and it ain't TP they're wanting for their bunghole, that's for sure. Would you look at the guilt over here oh my, look at the sign of stuff going through Oklahoma City. Cam bomb in Oklahoma City. Seattle, San Francisco too. You know your geography yet? You know what it is? It's when after they fight a war, they add a new name on our Mother Earth. And she's still the same. No matter what, the Earth don't care what your flag is. You know what the Earth cares about? Find out. I know what I think the Earth cares about. I think it cares about caring. I think it cares about loving. And I don't think it gives a shit if we're here to do it or not. And we should remember that we ain't breaking this planet. This planet will break us. It's the square lines to this stuff out here in the Indian Ocean, to the square lines over here, forced weather over Australia itself. The combinations is an absolute abomination. It's been allowed to continuation for far too many years. And this whole continuation of things is we don't need to build back better if what before was shit. Let's just build back what was needed. Not what we want. We don't always get what we want. We don't need what we want. We damn sure don't need these crazy ass flight patterns popping off chem bombs off the coast of New Zealand. Coming over here into Hawke's Bay. Prayer for all those beautiful people that lost their lives. For the land barons to get bridges and logs, inject chemicals that never came out of the earth into the earth to get chemicals out of it. What a fucking shame. What a destruction. What a bunch of assholes doing this. Mason much? Come on, guys. This is not a natural cloud. This is obvious. This is as obvious as you could get. If you ain't believing it by now, I ain't got time to fix it for you. I'm just going to try to get it to stop. Just hammering away at this, hammering away at this. I've been hammering away at this global freezing that they told us was going to happen until it was a global warming they say is going to happen. And you know what's going to happen? We're all going to be dead not to remember what the first excuse was if we don't stop them spraying acids in our skies that are toxifying our lungs, depriving us of efficient oxygen uptake into our blood cells, ionizing our bloods in such a way that they're not efficient and they're stacking together. And even a beautiful drink of water seems to have quite an effect on that, which I have shown people how to do. Why? Because it's about the solution. And we got to stop the solutions we're putting in the air here of God only knows what cocktail mix Bugs Bunny's mixing in the test tube today. Poof! I know the spoon always ends up melting in those cartoons, and while in this life in cartoon motion that we're living in a Mika kind of way, it's rain, 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 rain. Look at that line. Right there, like one of those straight line zip lines, deploying on either side of it, the angel of death deployment of flak. Right here before my freaking eyes. I've seen it before. What is this pulsation wave out here in the middle of nothing? Big explosive wave. What's the story there, Morning Glory? I got a Morning Glory for them. I really do. Take it, take it, take it, take it heavily. A great big thumbprint over here. I'm pointing right at Cape Byron. Toxified skies over the beautiful, beautiful Byron Bay. What a fucking shame. Peace, love, and sandy feet from Byron Bay on my wall and a plaque. And all I can think of is my people over here are getting poisoned. I'm watching a chemical gas attack on the peaceful population of Australia who have done nothing wrong. And you don't think that that mighty straight line near a storefront might have something to do with these microwaves that I see here? I think they have everything to do with it. Get to the last frame here. His straight lines. This is horrendous. Right through here. See that corridor of straightness is here? See that microwave line of energized air? Energized. These are microwaves that sweep in the storm. Bzz. And it's still on for hours and hours and hours. If it was the sun, we'd have rotated away from the influence of that magnetic flux line by now. No, I've shown the space weather. I've shown right here and now that that's not a glitch, because it has actually caused the formations of clouds to react in a certain way. This is Geo Engineering, engineering the Earth's systems using electromagnetic perturbation of the atmosphere from atmospheric heaters, and there's lots of them about. Every one of those NextRads you see over on these feeds here can excite the atmosphere by the very nature of what they do. Hello, America. How you doing? Yeah, I'm going over to where I was paying attention. USA is so asleep. It was giving out crack pipes to the population, but not letting the people out of jail for mandatory minimum sentences for just carrying a joint around in the 70s. Where the fucking danger were they? None. There's nothing to see here, folks. It's like you have no weather. Hey, there's no radar feed. When I go to the satellite, hey, there might be plenty of clouds to see. Nothing high top, but even they should pick up clouds, pick up fog. But all I'm picking up out here is just Ukraine colors solid awarded. I've never seen one puff of smoke in the air from on sat view. So I want everybody to give me a good date of a battle you heard occurred on the news that I don't watch. And so I can show you where the smoke is. It's smoke and mirrors, folks. It's a TV set. They didn't even CGI the maps that I look at. The Battle of the Ukraine has never occurred. You're being lied to. You're being pwned. You're good cop, bad cop to make you want to buy weapons for the military industrial complex when we were getting ready to set our nukes down because we realized not only was it a waste of money, it's a futile policy that just leaves a scorched earth. Damaged people who fear a siren. And me, the sirens of the sea are never anything I'll fear. And as we move along through the week, it looks like some bad times ahead. So, right, folks, sorry about that delay that had occurred early on. Be you, be free, be oneness. Peace.